Today we have a chef takes private dining experiences to new levels. Hey, you gonna like this? You gonna like this? This is being brought to us by CBS News in New York with Chef Miguel Trinidad. You know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead and check that out. Hey, this is Cooking with Cannabis. Um,
All right, if you didn't know, but we've been telling you for the last hour or so, it is April 20th or 420, which is a day of celebration for marijuana users. Why are you laughing?
I don't know, the phrasing was weird. Day of celebration. Yeah.
Believe me, we haven't had any. The latest CBS News YouGov poll finds that Americans' attitudes about pot are changing. A slight majority in that poll, 53%, now considers open use of marijuana to be socially acceptable. This is interesting because that is a shift from 2 years ago when 53% told us it was socially unacceptable. We also asked occasional pot users, quote, who knows you use marijuana? 44% said most of their friends and family know about their marijuana use, while 34% say some do, some don't. And just 22% say very few or no one. And get this, most Americans in our poll say they would not think any less of a person for using marijuana. That includes most of the people who hardly ever or even never use marijuana themselves.
So today, as Vlad was mentioning, is the unofficial holiday celebrating marijuana here in the U.S. and around the world. The recent legalization of recreational cannabis use in many states, including here in New York, has opened the door to some high-end private dining experiences where weed is the mainstay on the menu. And here to talk a little bit more about this, the man behind some of these private cannabis-infused dinners is Chef Miguel Trinidad.
Welcome.
Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you.
This is really fascinating to me because, you know, there has been legalization of cannabis in a number of states, but you don't see restaurants setting up. You do sort of see kind of like these private dinners. Is there a reason why we don't see food trucks or restaurants, but these private dinners are happening more and more?
Well, you know, every state is different, but the states are still trying to figure out the regulations. And a lot of the findings are based on fear and not fact and science. So in order to figure out how to police cannabis in cuisine, there's a whole step and process that needs to be understood, which they're still trying to figure out.
So tell me about, you know, how you came to do these dinners.
Well, this started about in 2015 with my business partner. You know, we're all from New York. We met on a project that we were doing, and we decided that we wanted to do something. Cannabis came into play, and we wanted to destigmatize cannabis through food. Now, the way we do that is by precise measurement and microdosing. I'm sure everybody who has had an experience with edibles has had a really bad one.
We talked about that, yeah.
Where they're holding on and waiting for the right 10. We don't want people to have that when they come to ours. We want them to have a positive experience and understand the medicine behind the plant.
But Chef, one of the things, I mean, when you, why not just, in my mind, do you really need the food to be infused with cannabis? You can also just smoke something first or ingest something and then enjoy the meal, because then it'll taste like flavor bomb.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. You know, some people don't want to smoke. So, you know, you ingest it. And controlling that dosage is very precise with what we do. Strains are very specific to the mood that you will experience once you consume it. So when we do our dinners, we find strains that are very relaxing, very euphoric, very outgoing, and can control it and will not have that onset of paranoia or the negative aspects of cannabis.
Let me ask you a question about cannabis as an ingredient. So Vlad pointed out it could probably make you enjoy the meal a lot more, right? I'm sure it does something to the way you taste things.
Probably makes you overeat too.
But, you know, if you use wine to cook, it changes the nature of the ingredient. If you add heat, are these all things you have to consider? I mean, when you cook with cannabis and the various other aspects of it, does it change the nature of the ingredient?
It does change the nature of the ingredient. Like I said, strains are specific and they have their own flavor profile, which are called terpenes. So you can use a strain that's very citrusy, something that's very earthy. It's very much like using dill, thyme, basil. So you use it as a herb and you respect the plant in that form.
So one of the things that people have experienced with edibles is that they will not be able to properly gauge. You eat a cookie and then you say, well, I haven't felt anything, so I'm going to eat another.
Yeah.
But then an hour later, you're like, I probably should have only had one. How do you sustain the buzz so that it's enjoyable over several courses?
Well, One thing is the delivery system. So if you're using a non-saturated fat, it's going to be absorbed much quicker into your system than an animal fat. So you want to control that. And then there's methods that'll slow down the absorption process when you're using carbs and other ingredients in the dish that you're creating.
When you have these dinners, I mean, do you give people a preamble? Because I'm sure you have people who are novices and people who are like, you know,
Snoop Dogg.
I'll have a double order. Yeah, it's like Snoop Dogg.
Snoop would be like, wait, I don't feel anything.
What do you say to people?
Well, I always tell people to start off slow. And we make sure that our dinners, each course is about 5 milligrams. Throughout the whole dinner, you'll have about 25 milligrams, which is a nice, comfortable number. Instead of eating a 25 milligram edible, you're having 5 courses.
Right.
So it's going to be a long onset before you start feeling something. You'll feel something in the first 3 courses, and then by the time you get home, you're nice and relaxed, and you're ready for a little nap or a little cuddling or whatever it may be.
I love that.
That's great.
It's really good. Are those samples, Chef, or what are those?
These are some hard candies that we also give to our guests whenever we do a dinner. Some people, like you said, might want something a little stronger. So you have the 25 milligrams. Then you have our candies that you can take that are about 10 milligrams each. If you want to, bump up the dose or continue the party after you leave.
You know, the thing about this is it sounds like such a classy experience that I can see people who normally would be sort of concerned about being associated with cannabis being willing to participate in something like this.
It is, because we don't allow any smoking at our event. It's all about the experience. It's all about the food. It's all about the cannabis. So we want people to come and we educate them on how to dose properly.
Love it. Chef Miguel Trinidad, thank you very much for stopping by. Really interesting. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. 25 milligrams of food. Damn, sign me up. Yeah, man, how you feel about that? You got any questions? Leave your comments down low, because, man, even New York getting that shit together. Look at that, man. Florida, I swear, bro. They over there got dining experiences over there in Florida.